Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for today's MLB slate on Monday, July the 28th. We got a full 15-game slate for Monday, guys, and I've got some early player props I like for this slate. Taking a first look at the board on Sunday night, recording this video the night before, and going to give you guys, again, 3 early plays I like. We're going to break down these plays and share why I like them. Now, before we do get started, make sure, as always, if you enjoy these Prizepicks videos, you hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel, and if you are new to Prizepicks, if you don't have a Prizepicks account, make sure to go sign up. Use that promo code NOAH when you sign up for Prizepicks. When you play $5, you'll get $50 in free lineups instantly added to your account. So check out Prizepicks if you guys have not yet. And then also, I do want to give a quick shout out to Sleeper because we do have a partnership with Sleeper as well. You can go download the Sleeper app, use promo code NOAH over there, and you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. So whatever you put in on that first deposit, Sleeper will match it up to $100. If you put in $100, they will give you an additional $100 to play with. So now you got a $200 bankroll to work with. You can try and start to build up that bankroll over on Sleeper. But again, if you guys don't have an account over there, download the Sleeper app, use that promo code NOAH, so that way you get that deposit bonus up to $100. But yeah, we got some plays to talk about here, guys, for Monday. Now, before we talk through our plays for today, I want to recap our plays from our last video, which was on Saturday. I did not make a video for Sunday. We gave out 3 picks on Saturday. We went 2 and 3. So, we hit 2 plays, lost 1, unfortunately. The 2 plays that did hit were our 2-pick stack that we did with the 2 Baltimore hitters. Jackson Holliday, Gunnar Henderson took both of them over fantasy score. Both of them came through for us. I think Baltimore put up like a shit ton of runs on Saturday. I can't remember exactly how many, but both Henderson and Holliday came through. Unfortunately, we took Cade Horton over 4.5 strikeouts, which did not come through for us. Horton pitched a pretty good game, I want to say. I think he pitched like 6 shutout innings, but he just wasn't really getting any strikeouts. I think he had 3 Ks. Obviously, we took him over 4.5. Didn't come through for us, sadly, but we're going to move on to Monday here, and hopefully we can start off the week right. Go 3-0 on these 3 plays for Monday. So let's go ahead and talk about the first play that I like, which is an earned runs allowed prop, and we're going to take Eduardo Rodriguez for less than 2.5 earned runs allowed. So Erod, if you look at what he's done lately in some starts, he's had some really good starts. Against the White Sox, allowed 0 runs. Against the Marlins, only allowed 1 run. Against Houston, only allowed, didn't allow any runs. And then he's had a couple bad starts in there. He gave up 4 runs to the Padres, gave up 8 runs to the Royals. You look at Erod's ERA this season, he does have a pretty high ERA, 5.50. But if you look at his expected ERA, it's a run lower than his actual ERA. So his expected ERA is 4.32. So he's kind of been getting a little bit unlucky to have, as high of an ERA as he does. That could be, due to him maybe not giving up a lot of hard contact, and those, maybe he's giving up like soft hits, but they're resulting in, hits and not outs. When normally, you give up soft hits, normally that results in outs. But there can be times when a, batter hits a ball softly and it just kind of lands in the perfect spot in the outfield and drops for a hit. You can have those type of things happen. Obviously, it's unlucky for the pitcher. And if you look at Erod's hard hit percentage this year, he's not really giving up a lot of hard hits, like only a 34.1% hard hit percentage, so he gets a lot of soft contact. His strikeout stuff this year has been about league average. He's never been like an elite strikeout guy. He's kind of been more of a ground ball pitcher throughout his career. His strikeout stuff this year has been about league average. His walk rate, it's about league average, 7.9%. Doesn't really give up like a ton of free passes. And obviously, when you're talking about earned runs allowed, you don't want a pitcher giving up a bunch of walks because then that can lead to hits, or a batter could get a hit, drive those guys in, and obviously those would count, against Erod there. But Erod's historically been kind of a low walk guy. He's historically been a pitcher that has never had, a super high walk rate. His entire career, he's never had a walk rate over 9%. Like his walk rate has been below 9% every season of his career. So he's historically been a guy that doesn't give up a lot of free passes. And I like this matchup for him against Detroit. If you look at Detroit's splits this year against left-handed pitching, they've been pretty good against left-handed pitching, but as of late, the Tigers have really been struggling against left-handed pitching, and if you actually look over the last 30 days, the Tigers have been one of the worst, if not the worst offense in the league against left-handed pitching over the last 30 days. So they rank dead last in average, 185 batting average. They rank 28th in on-base percentage, 269. Or actually, they're tied for second to last. So they're tied for 29th in on-base percentage, 269. In terms of slugging, second to last, 287 slugging. OPS, second to last, 555. WRC plus, second to last, 59 WRC plus for Detroit versus left-handed pitching over the last 30 days. So this Tigers offense has just been really slumping against left-handed pitching lately. Erod's had some good starts as of late. He's had some bad starts mixed in there, but this does feel like a good spot for him against a Tigers team that has really been struggling against left-handed pitching lately. And I think Erod's a pitcher that's due for a little bit of positive regression. I don't think he's going to continue to be as bad as he has been. I know his ERA is really high; it's up above 5, but he's got an expected ERA in the low 4s. He's a solid pitcher. He's never been like an elite pitcher, but he's a guy that can get ground balls. He can get soft contact. He's never been a guy that gets blown up too often. I know he's had some starts lately where he's gotten, given up a lot of runs, but mixed in there are really good starts where he's gone, 0 runs allowed, 1 run allowed, 0 runs allowed. This feels like one of those starts where Erod could definitely get through, 5-6 innings and only give up like a couple runs, maybe 1 or 2 runs at most. So I do like him for less than 2.5 earned runs allowed. And then the other 2 props that we're going to take are going to be another correlated stack. So this is something that we did on Saturday. It worked for us. It's definitely going to be something that I look to do moving forward. So with correlated stacks on Prizepicks, you can take hitters from the same team, which sometimes like sports books don't allow you to do that because there's correlation with taking hitters on the same team. Because if a team scores like 9 or 10 runs, there's a very good chance that a lot of the hitters on that team are going to go over their prop lines. If a team scores 0 runs or 1 run, there's a very good chance a lot of the hitters on that team are going to go under their prop lines. So there's obviously correlation with taking hitters on the same team over or under, depending on how many runs the team scores. And if there's a spot that I like, whether it's an over or an under, I'm going to look to take it. There's a spot that I like tonight. It's for the Mariners. They're going into the Athletics ballpark, so they're going to be going on the road. And anytime the Mariners are playing on the road, it's going to be beneficial for their hitters because they play their they play their home games in a very pitcher-friendly ballpark. Seattle's ballpark has always been one of the most pitcher-friendly parks. I think over the last few seasons, it's actually ranked as the best pitcher's ballpark. So it's a really tough, ballpark to hit in. So anytime the Mariners go on the road, they're going to be playing in a better ballpark to hit in. And this is definitely a really good ballpark for them to hit in, play in the Athletics. So the Athletics are playing in a minor league ballpark this year that has been playing very hitter-friendly. It's actually been playing as one of the most hitter-friendly ballparks. So I like this spot for a lot of these Mariner hitters. And the 2 spots that I like the most are Cal Raleigh for more than 7.5 fantasy score and Randy Arozarena for more than 6 fantasy score. So we're going to go ahead and take these 2 together. Again, there's correlation here. Obviously, if the Mariners go out there and score 7-8 runs tonight, there's a very good chance that a lot of these Mariner hitters are going over their fantasy score lines. Hopefully, Raleigh and Arozarena will be the 2 guys going over their lines. These 2 guys typically do bat, right behind each other in the lineup. So typically, Kyle Raleigh bats 3rd in the order. Randy Arozarena bats 4th. So just like to give you an example of correlation, let's say Kyle Raleigh gets a single, which would be worth 3 fantasy points, and then Randy Arozarena comes up to bat and gets an RBI double. So that would be worth 7 fantasy points, and then you got to add on the 2 fantasy points that Kyle Raleigh would get because he's scoring a run. So there's just correlation when you have batters on the same team, driving each other in, getting RBIs, getting runs scored. And I think this is a good spot for the Mariners, specifically their right-handed hitters, because the righties have had more success this year against J.P. Sears, who's going to be pitching for the Athletics tonight. If you look at J.P. Sears' splits this season, he has given up a 257 average, 311 on base percentage, and 494 slug to right-handed hitters, whereas to left-handed hitters, 250 average, 282 on base percentage, 456 slug. So he's definitely been worse against right-handed hitters. He's also been worse at home, which makes sense because, again, we talked about how hitter-friendly the Athletics ballpark is. At home this year, J.P. Sears has a 5.61 ERA, on the road 4.55. Opponents are hitting 269 off Sears at home. They're only hitting 247 off him on the road. So, again, there's just a lot of things that line up well here for these Mariner hitters, specifically Raleigh and Arozarena, who have had really good splits against left-handed pitching this season. Kyle Raleigh is a switch hitter, so against right-handed pitching he'll bat lefty, against left-handed pitching he'll bat righty. Against left-handed pitching, though, Cal Raleigh's been really good this season. 325 average against left-handed pitching. And then you look at his other stats, 374 on base percentage, 789 slug. So he's really been hitting for power against lefties. OPS over 1,000, 465 ISO, 224 WRC plus for Cal Raleigh against left-handed pitching this year. And then on the other hand, Randy Arozarena, really good splits against left-handed pitching as well. 295 average, 348 on base percentage, 552 slug, 900 OPS, 252 ISO, 155 WRC plus. Arozarena's power, he's definitely hit for more power against left-handed pitching as well. So both these guys have really good splits against left-handed pitching. Both these guys have also been a lot better on the road this year than they have been at home, which again makes sense just given Seattle's ballpark. It's a great ballpark for them to hit in here. Mariners have a team total over 5 runs, so the Mariners are expected to put up some runs here. And if the Mariners are putting up some runs, there's a very good chance that Cal Raleigh, Randy Arozarena, 2 of their better hitters, are going to be contributing to those runs and hopefully getting fantasy points. Arozarena also does give a little bit of stolen base upside, which always is a plus anytime you're talking about fantasy score because you get 5 points for stolen bases. I think Arozarena, pretty sure he's got like double-digit stolen bases this year. Yeah, he's got 17 stolen bases. Cal Raleigh's actually stole 12 bases this year, so like both these guys can steal bases, which is a plus for fantasy. To go along with any points they get from hits, runs, RBIs, walks, whatever it may be. But I do like the spot for the Mariners to put up some runs here. I like the spot a lot for Cal Raleigh and Randy Arozarena, so we're going to take them both over their fantasy score lines. 7.5 for Raleigh, 6 for Arozarena. And on Prizepicks, you do typically see a payout deduction when you do a correlation because correlation has historically been a profitable strategy. So obviously Prizepicks knows this, so that they lower the payouts. But if you look at the payout, it's still 5.75x, which is not too far off from what you would normally get. A normal 3-pick lineup on Prizepicks, power play would pay out 6x. You're getting 5.75x, so you're losing a little bit of payout, but not really that much. And I think, with it still being 5.75x, that still makes the correlation worth it, in my opinion, for a 3-pick lineup. So, yeah, guys, these are going to be our 3 plays for today. We're taking Erod under 2.5 earned runs allowed. Cal Raleigh, more than 7.5 fantasy score. Randy Arozarena, more than 6 fantasy score. So, 3 plays. Let's try and go 3-0 here. Hit all 3 of these plays for Monday. Appreciate you guys watching these Prizepicks videos. As always, hit that like button down below for me before you do get out of here. Hit that subscribe button as well, guys. And again, if you're new to Prizepicks, if you don't have a Prizepicks account, make sure to sign up. Use that promo code NOAH. When you play $5, you'll get $50 in free lineups instantly added to your account. So check out Prizepicks if you have not yet. But good luck as always. Let's win some money tonight, guys. See you in the next video.